Hey, in this video, I want to go over how we write B2B email subject lines that get us 45% plus open rates. So we've actually stopped tracking open rates for the past, 12 to 18 months, but we have seen following these 3 to 4 principles or rules or whatever you want to call it as, increases your chances of the emails actually being open. So number one would be making sure that the subject line is concise. Nobody is reading a subject line that has 5-6 words. Make sure the subject line is to the point, is congruent to the product or the service that you're selling in your email, and make sure it's relevant and concise. Number two is making sure that you're adding variables like company name and first name. Of course, a lot of people do this, but adding this level of personalization increases your chances of actually being open. Number three is dropping in colleagues' names. So these are subject lines that we actively use in our campaigns, right? We've seen all of these perform equally well. So I'll give you a few examples, later through this video. Number three would be dropping in colleague's name. Again, when you think about it first, you might be like, if I'm emailing somebody, why would I want to drop, their colleague's name? But with outbound, especially B2B, you have to make sure you're standing out from the crowd. When you think about it, how many times have you received emails, quoting one of your team members in the email? Not a lot, right? So the main objective of having a good subject line is to make sure that you're opening the email. Of course, you want to cater the rest of the body also, to the subject line. You don't want to say something else in the subject line and, your body be completely different. You don't want that to happen. But we've seen dropping in colleague's name, increases your chances of actually being open, because everybody sees their name in the subject line or in the body, whenever they receive their emails. Seeing their colleague's name is a bit new, right? They don't expect it that much. So that's number three. And then dropping in city names. So this usually works really well for companies, that are offering their services locally and they're planning on expanding. So I'll give you a few examples too. So make sure you have everything in small case. Again, looks more natural, doesn't look like AI. Instead of saying outbound solution, you'll say this, everything in small case. Number two would be adding variables. So adding your colleague name, you can say something like, John, would he be the right person for outbound related queries, right? Right person for outbound. So it can be something like, John, myself, right? So ideally, so the way we usually drop in, colleague's name is, we have we make sure that, we are targeting people from different departments. So for example, if I'm targeting somebody from management, I would drop in a colleague who is in marketing, right? So John would be somebody in marketing. So it's more relevant, right? You wouldn't expect them, you wouldn't write somebody handling accounts, in the subject line. So make sure it's relevant also. So in Apollo, you can build two different lists, one list with people that are working in marketing, one, in management. When you're emailing people in management, drop in people that work in marketing in the subject line. So anything, if you're selling something related to marketing, do this. If it's accounting related, drop in people accordingly. So the person that you're dropping in should make sense for the recipient, right? Okay, John works in marketing. He might be the right person for outbound, right? You don't want to, mention somebody else, somebody, who's an accountant, somebody who's an HR. You don't want that, in the subject line. And then dropping in. So this is, a typical go-to whenever we launch our campaigns. You're talking about the service that you're offering, and then company name. So for example, let's say you sell something like animations. It can be, say, 3D videos for company name. I don't know. Let's say Twitter, right? Or animations for the Twitter, animations for Twitter, right? So you can play around. So this clearly describes what you're offering and to whom. You can also drop in the first name. That's fine. If it's a smaller company, you can use the CEO's name. If it's a bigger company, you can drop in the company name or anybody that's handling that particular department. Number three. So this is something that I got from Eric Nolosky. So homage to him. So having a friendly tone can go both ways. So if you're targeting industries that are, kind of in the informal sector, for example, something like marketing and advertising, something like this will work really well. Initially, he came out with this particular angle, Rando from LinkedIn, but we kind of improvised it based on the city that we're targeting. So, for example, let's say our client is based out of New York, and we are targeting companies in New York. I would say something like Rando from New York, right? So again, it has a funny, friendly tone to it, especially if whatever you're selling, is in the creative space. Something like this works really well. You can play around with this, right? Random. Again, this can go both ways. If you're targeting people, let's say in the VC space, healthcare space, ideally older people, it can go sideways too. But make sure you know your target market before actually using something like this. And then number 4 would be using city names in your subject lines. So plans on expanding from Chicago, right? Something like that. So we've had few clients that that have 90% of their clientele within 50 to 60 kilometer radius. So when you're targeting such companies that are planning to expand, something like this works really well. Ideally, target companies that sell SEO for local businesses, because locally people usually stick to people that they know. For example, let's say they sell SEO for architects, right? They're more likely to have customers within their area, because all of these are brick and mortar stores. So having a location also helps you stand out. So these are a few key pointers that you'll have to keep in mind to make sure that the emails that you're sending out are actually being opened and are not being marked as spam. So if you're a B2B company and you're looking to grow your business via outbound, and you're looking for an agency that works on a performance basis, to DM us. I'll make sure that I drop this particular case study doc, also my LinkedIn profile, in the description below. If there's something of interest, would love to chat further in detail. See you.